The Tesla PY-phone Fold, projected for 2026, is being positioned as more than just another smartphone release. It represents a shift in how personal technology could function in everyday life. The core idea is radical in its simplicity, a device designed to reduce friction instead of adding it, potentially offering lifetime satellite connectivity through Starlink, a new aluminum-ion battery architecture, and a custom operating system called XOS, all deeply integrated into the broader Tesla and X ecosystem. The promise of never paying for internet access again sounds unrealistic at first, especially in a world where free usually hides long-term costs. Yet Tesla's proposed structure makes the concept more believable when examined closely. Rather than charging users directly, Tesla could subsidize part of the phone's cost up front and distribute that expense over several years, resulting in only a few dollars per month in amortized cost. That expense could then be offset by ecosystem participation, such as accessory margins, optional premium bandwidth tiers, encrypted privacy services, or in-app transaction fees. If even a fraction of users choose low-cost add-ons, the subsidy balances out, meaning Tesla maintains profitability while users avoid traditional monthly carrier bills. Instead of treating connectivity as a subscription, the phone could ship with a hardware-locked Starlink eSIM, containing prepaid access credits permanently bound to the device. Those credits would be backed by a long-term contract between Tesla and SpaceX, purchased at wholesale scale and embedded at manufacturing, eliminating billing complexity for users and reducing fraud risks for SpaceX. Importantly, free Starlink in this context would not mean unlimited high-bandwidth streaming from anywhere on Earth. It would focus on essential services, such as emergency voice and messaging, location sharing, alerts, and low data health or telemetry check-ins. By limiting bandwidth and prioritizing critical use cases, the annual per-user cost drops dramatically, making lifetime access feasible without overwhelming Starlink's infrastructure. Given Starlink's rapid expansion, millions of active users, and continued satellite deployment, targeted lifetime connectivity packages become strategically viable when scoped responsibly. The psychological impact alone is significant. A phone that works anywhere without contracts, roaming fees, or dead zones fundamentally changes how people think about reliability and peace of mind. Beyond connectivity, the aluminum-ion battery technology proposed for the PY-phone Fold addresses durability and longevity in ways current lithium-ion designs cannot. Aluminum-ion cells offer higher thermal tolerance, remaining stable at temperatures that would degrade or endanger lithium batteries, a critical advantage in hot climates or enclosed environments like car dashboards. The chemistry also enables a dramatically longer cycle life, reaching several thousand charge cycles, which translates into many years of daily use without meaningful capacity loss. This eliminates one of the biggest reasons people replace phones so frequently: battery degradation. Aluminum-ion construction also improves resistance to humidity and corrosion, reducing failure rates in moist environments and ensuring consistent performance over time. With higher energy density, the battery allows for thinner, lighter designs, an important factor for foldable phones and for users with limited hand strength or mobility challenges. Durability extends beyond chemistry into structural resilience, with prototypes reportedly tolerating significant vibration and drop forces thanks to materials derived from aerospace applications. This reduces the need for bulky protective cases and supports the idea of a phone built to last a decade rather than a couple of years. The environmental implications are equally important, as aluminum is highly recyclable and fits naturally into Tesla's closed-loop manufacturing philosophy, cutting electronic waste and feeding end-of-life materials back into production. All of this is supported by the proposed XOS operating system, which aims to rethink how software supports users rather than overwhelms them. XOS would prioritize a hardware-enforced emergency layer capable of activating satellite connectivity, transmitting location data, and placing emergency calls even if the main interface fails or the battery is critically low. This kind of redundancy is not flashy, but it directly addresses real-world scenarios where phones fail people when they need them most. Security and scam prevention would move to the system level, allowing XOS to detect suspicious financial actions, unverified calls, or risky links, and require trusted confirmation before proceeding, a safeguard particularly valuable for older users increasingly targeted by fraud. Simplicity is another core principle, with a task-first interface that permanently anchors essential functions like calling, emergency access, reminders, and a camera to home screen, removing visual clutter and cognitive overload. Deeper integration with Tesla vehicles enables capabilities competitors cannot easily replicate, such as automatic emergency responses triggered by vehicle crash data, shared securely with the phone, and transmitted via Starlink when needed. This level of system-wide coordination is only possible when hardware, software, and transportation platforms are engineered within the same ecosystem. Privacy is addressed through clear, human-readable consent controls that explain exactly what data is shared, with whom and why, empowering users without burying them in legal jargon. Taken together, these elements suggest the PY Phone Fold is not being designed as a disposable upgrade cycle product, but as a long-term companion meant to remain useful, reliable, and relevant for years. Rather than competing on camera specs or app counts alone, it competes on trust, resilience, and practicality across all ages and levels of technical comfort. If this vision materializes, it could redefine what it means for a phone to make sense in a world increasingly dependent on constant connectivity and reliability. And it may be the first time in years that a smartphone feels less like a temporary gadget and more like a permanent piece of infrastructure in everyday life. What makes this concept especially compelling is that it reframes technology as a stabilizing force rather than a constant source of upgrades, subscriptions, and anxiety. In a market where phones are increasingly optimized for engagement metrics and short replacement cycles, the PY Phone Fold instead emphasizes dependability, predictability, and long-term ownership. The idea that a device could remain relevant for 8 to 10 years without becoming obsolete challenges the entire economics of consumer electronics, shifting value from novelty to endurance. For younger users, this means fewer hidden costs and greater independence from carriers, while for older users it means confidence that the device will behave consistently without constant relearning. The convergence of satellite connectivity, resilient battery chemistry, and an operating system designed around real human needs suggests a future where phones are less about status and more about assurance. If Tesla succeeds in executing even a portion of this vision, it would pressure competitors like Apple and Samsung to rethink not just features, but philosophy. The PY Phone Fold would not need to dominate market share, to be disruptive. Thanks for watching. Subscribe.